let a
There we
couple
go.
more people in. Let's see.
Okay. I just got the announcement that you're recording, so that's good.
Yeah. All right, so there we are. So welcome everybody to the Horizon 2.0 Artist Talk and kind of opening reception here. It's so great to see so many of you. It's, I love these because, some of us aren't exactly getting out there as much. And so, it's great to see everybody here, and of course, Diane, I ran into at the park, not too long ago, which was really great. So it's nice, when that happens. But yeah, so welcome. I am Christine Shoemaker. I run Shoebox Arts, which is an art support network, and we're an art manager and mentor and coach for artists. And then also from Shoebox Arts, I created Shoebox Projects, which is an alternative art space. We have a physical location sometimes at my space here at the brewery. And during the pandemic, that went on hiatus and we took it online. And so that's where these art exhibitions are coming in. And with Shoebox Projects, what we did was working with the artists through Shoebox Arts, we created a program called Shoebox Curatorial, where we wanted our artists to see a behind the scenes of what it's like to jury an exhibition. Because oftentimes as artists, we apply for juried shows, but it's like, we don't know exactly how it works, what the juror sees. From start to finish, coming up with the the title and the theme and all of that. We felt it, it's really good for the artists to learn and to get a behind the scenes. And some of our artists are curators already, and so it's a natural, it's kind of a natural fit. And so Karen, came to me with this idea and we're like, yes, let's do it. Let's run with it. And so that's where Horizon 2.0 comes in. And with that, I'm going to let Karen go ahead and introduce herself and talk about what she does and then go into the show and how she, how she came up with the artists or with the idea and the artists, and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Karen Hochman Brown. I'm a digital artist, surprise. I live in Altadena and my studio is in my house. It's actually, as far as the digital work, you're kind of looking at it. There's my printer back there and I've got a workspace there for when I do physical things. I have most recently, I think the idea for this show came out of the work that I had been doing most recently, which was creating landscapes from photographs, but doing a lot of manipulation, distortion, and putting together more recently clouds, seascapes, and floral elements using globes and spheres and portals as ways of transforming the landscape into something new and different. I know that as a digital artist, you apply to a lot of, or you look at the list. You look at the list of from Cafe or any of these entry places, and it's getting better, but a lot of places don't accept digital. And a lot of shows that I see that do accept digital seem to just accept photographs. Nothing wrong with photography. Photography is great. But I kind of sometimes feel that altered digital art is a stepchild, and I really wanted to give a forum for artists who work in the digital realm and do something beyond enhancing a photograph through your basic techniques like color correction and do into something more imaginative. And that was really the impetus of putting this show on, just to highlight artists who do what I do, who do other things, who work with generative art, but I wanted to keep it as landscape just to give it some focus. And some really great things came through. I was a little surprised that I got some beautiful landscapes that were acrylic paintings, and I and I got some kind of interesting digital stuff that had nothing to do with landscape. So sometimes, we're always told just apply, and the curator can sort it all out. And I guess that's what I got to do. So,
Was there anything that you learned, from the process of, or from being an artist submitting to being a juror, or anything else you found surprising, or anything like that?
um, I was very clear with my prospectus, what I was looking for, and I was sometimes amazed at what came out that was kind of above and beyond what I expected. Just different interpretations of what a landscape, what your, a vision of a landscape was. So, I just got very interesting, varied pieces that went beyond what I thought I was going to be getting. So that was nice. Sometimes it was frustrating. Again, like when you'd get something that was very clearly a painting. It's like, well, there are lots of shows for paintings. Why are you applying to this one? Yeah. But I was really delighted. I will say that in selecting the images, I chose about 10% of the images that were submitted, and to give opportunity for as many artists as I wanted to, I only selected one piece from any individual artist to keep it varied, even though some people submitted quite a few pieces and all of them were amazing. And I think those might have been the most difficult, was to choose one out of a large selection to kind of narrow it down to one, when so many of the pieces they submitted were exceptional. So
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. What we'll do is I'll share my screen, and then, if the artist is here, we'd love to hear them talk about the work for a couple of minutes, and, introduce themselves. Where are you from? And is this the normal work that you do? And, take a couple minutes so all the artists have a chance to talk about their work. And then, Karen is here and can, chime in, or, it's informal. So if anybody else has any questions for the artist, please feel free to go ahead and reach out, and speak up, or let me see. Oops. Barbara, I don't have anybody in the waiting room right now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she's waiting to be let in, so who knows where she is.
Oh, no, I'll keep an eye out. But yeah, and the other thing is, I put it in chat, but if you didn't see that, please feel free to put your website, social media information in chat, and save the chat at the end of the talk, and or do it now. Go back and follow each other. I mean, it's about building community also, and and you all, especially if you're in the show, have similar interests, and so it's great to build that community around the similar interests also. So please feel free to use chat for that. And let's see.
Could I mention that when we get to the end, if you could give everyone a prompt to save the list before you end the meeting? That would be nice.
Yeah. I will try and remember, because I may forget. And so, Karen, you'll remember, and somebody else, if you can remember.
Very good.
Because yes, saving I always forget. And then the other thing is, at the end, when we get to the end, we will announce the awards. So Karen, picked some amazing artists. So we're looking forward to that. And there we go. There's somebody in the waiting room. Somebody else. Okay. So hopefully, isn't Zoom fun? Let's see. All right. So here we go. Can everybody see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
good
great.
To me.
All right. I'm opening up Okay, so you know, either Karen or myself, if you want to, I can scroll down and we can see who's here and talking about their work, or yeah, and just kind of go from there. Is Tori here? Let's see, it doesn't look like it, so.
Well, I think you have this piece further down that was like I don't know, just sort of the head piece there. But
this is Tori. Yeah, and then let's see. How about Hannah? Is Hannah here? No, it doesn't look like it.
Well, let's stop. Maybe if someone's not here, I can talk a little bit about what I liked about this piece.
Yes. Yeah, no, that sounds great.
So on Tori's, I myself have done. I don't know how. I'm gonna think that Tori is a she. I don't know exactly how it was put together, but I've done some work in the past where I take my iPhone and like with a panorama, and then I turn it upside down and turn it upside down, and it kind of reminded me of that. I love the title of it too, that it's this, you know, weird train accident thing. But I don't know. I like the piece. I like the darkness of it and how weird it was.
It feels like a slow motion train wreck. You know, there's definitely a lot of motion in there.
It's got kind of a caterpillar feel to it. It's
Uh-oh,
you just went away.
Am I there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I got a black screen.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what. I've never had that happen before. Okay, there we go. Try that again. That was weird.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, great. Let's see. And I'm sure, yeah. Hopefully they will chime in, you know, maybe on social media or somewhere else so we can hear a little more about their work.
Very good.
Yeah. And let's see. And then Hannah, I saw him.
Oh, went out again.
I hope it's not Zoom. Let's see.
Could try passing it over to me, and I could try pulling it up.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and do that? I just gave you permission.
Oh, hold on.
See if it's a
window. I got to go back to the Zoom meeting. And
it must be Zoom because it's fine on my screen. So.
Hey.
It's weird.
Yeah, Zoom just being glitchy.
Okay, let me hide my bookmarks and okay, window, Zoom meeting. Let me go escape. Okay, am I able to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to have to do this.
Share.
Yay.
Okay, we got that?
Yeah. Do you want to open it up so it's on the whole screen there?
There?
Yep,
yes.
Perfect.
Oh, it went away.
Yep, went away again.
Oh, I wonder, it must be Zoom.
No.
Blame Zoom, you're useless.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
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 Well,
Maybe
everybody...
not full screen. That might help.
I'm sorry. Oh, try it without full screen.
Let me try that.
Yeah. See if that works.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, now I know who's first place.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Now I have to find the window.
I know.
I can try it on mine if you want to, no reason why it should show on mine and not anyone else's, but I'm happy to try. I've got it up on my second monitor.
Yeah, I had it on my second monitor, and but we'll see. I mean, because so far we could see this.
Okay. Let me go back to I'm going to stop the share. Look at that. Go back to there.
Sorry, everybody.
At
least we're in it together.
Sorry. There we go. I'm going to go there. I'm going to take this one off of full screen, but I'm going to make it as big as possible. Then I'm going to go back to Zoom and share screen and do that.
I know.
Okay. We okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far.
Okay. So,
And there's the link again also, if you want to bring it up separately.
okay. This piece I've just the graphic quality, just I don't know. I think it's just a really interesting image, and I really would love to see it as a lenticular.
Oh.
Now it went away.
Oh,
Yes.
nice one, dumbass.
That's not fair.
That's not fair at all.
Oh,
Oh.
technology is great, except when it isn't.
Yeah.
Would you like me to try my share?
Yeah, we can try just
Sure.
to
Another one.
yeah, just to
Let's
see.
see.
Yeah, really.
Karen, did you have any videos for this project that you
I
were
had a
going to show?
few. I had a
Okay.
few come in. Yeah, and there is actually one that I accepted.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I hope we get to see the work. I'm so curious.
Is this showing up now?
it is showing
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Okay, let's see. So go ahead, Karen, or were you finished talking about that?
Whoop, oh, it just
Oh.
happened to be.
Oh.
Oh my god, why are you women so
Well, wait,
fucking
it's
useless?
there.
You cunt.
Oh.
It's there behind you.
Whoa!
It's there behind.
Somebody
That's
has it.
weird.
Oh,
It seems like when the scrolling happens,
yeah.
we possibly bop it, scroll and then come share again and then scroll and share.
Okay,
again.
sure.
Try that.
And I just got rid of the person that was making the comments too. So
Thank
Is he serious?
yeah, they were yeah,
Did we get
a
a troll?
troll.
Probably trying to be funny, maybe. But
My
no.
first time.
Wow. That was
'Cause
rude.
I heard
Okay.
him say that was supposed to be in jest, quietly, but still, it's not funny.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't.
Well.
Well, we're here.
Well, we're here.
Okay. Who is this?
Okay.
Oh, yes. Who is sharing now?
I am.
Oh, Barbara. Okay.
Barbara, yeah.
Oh, well, Dean and Laura, go ahead.
Yeah.
We're here.
Hi there.
Yay.
Hey.
I better talk fast.
Not touching anything.
Let me just say, okay, so this is like a culmination of several trips to Europe that we've taken and Alaska. And it combines my bronze mourner figures with Dean's landscape exteriors and interiors and kind of, a bit of fantasy. And there's a storyline that Dean and I have been collaborating on for 5 years now, I guess. And this is this series is called Once Upon a Time When Form Was Fluid. When, you remember the time when a man could be an animal and an animal could be a bird and a bird could be a man or a woman, that kind of thing. So we're exploring what it would be like to be on their planet where it's a rich pageantry of experiences and whatnot. And like us, they like to take Viking journeys. So as you can see, we have this, I'm pointing at it like you can see where I am pointing. There's a Viking ship in the background.
There we go. Yes. Thank you.
Which is actually, it's actually my little pen holder here.
We kind of refer to this as a self-portrait, and that we do like the Viking cruises, so that's where the Viking ship comes in.
Right.
There's some of our favorite places there, Paris,
In the background.
in the background, and the Louvre. And and we like nature. So that's us kind of sitting there with our sketch pads or cameras or iPads and on our trip recording these things that look like they could be real, but you know, there's no way they are. So there we go.
Right. The figures are from the Uffizi, I believe.
Pizza, yeah.
Yeah. And then the heads were my bronze figure heads combined.
And
there
if you don't know, these are actual little bronze figures that are just amazing. It's not all digital.
Right, but I did take pictures of them and then paste them in
Yes.
digitally.
Exactly.
Yeah, just a lot of combination and recombinations.
I like your description of your media, the heat-infused photo on aluminum sheet.
Yeah.
trying to say, you know, what is the medium of digital art when you put it into something that's physical?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it aluminum print? Is it, you know, it's archival digital print laminated behind sheet of acrylic, you know, and you just.
Yeah, that was the short answer, but yeah, I know what you mean. It is.
So I definitely liked your description of the media.
No, well, thank you. Thank you for including us.
Oh, you're welcome. It was really hard because you submitted several, and
Yeah, we did.
narrowing it down to one was difficult.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you.
Could I ask where you get your aluminum prints done?
Where do we get our prints done? Art Beat?
Yeah, Art Beat Studios in Orange County.
They're very good.
If for the aluminum prints, we go to Art Beat Studios. For other prints, I have a printer in my studio, so just print them regularly. But for the metal prints, Art Beat Studios, and they're very good, reasonable, and efficient.
Thank you. I love your work, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Do you want to go? Thank you, Lauren. Do you want to? I just had to get rid of somebody else. Sorry about that.
I thought I heard somebody else come in.
Yeah, trying to share their screen also.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
All right. Is Rachel here? I don't think I saw her. Karen, did you want to talk about the piece?
And once again, this is one where several pieces were were submitted, and just the sort of dystopian narrative that was presented here, I found very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy it. I loved kind of the green dripping out and the baby on the floor, and it's just tells an interesting story. And it was very well put together, highly skilled work there. I just thought it was very, very nicely done.
It's I hope we don't, I kind of feel like we're there now. But
yeah, that does sort of have kind of a pandemic, get plugged in.
Yep.
They're all kind of dressed the same too. There's just sort of a nice unity in the story here.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Looks like Birdie Man. The place. Actually, it is. Yeah.
Where?
Burning Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, it wasn't done there, but it is the place
In the desert, yeah.
in the desert.
That's digital. How you never know how much of it's photographic and how much of it's invented.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah. Great. Let's see. Let's look at the next one there.
Moving very carefully.
I know. So far, so good.
Okay.
Fingers crossed there.
Sean O'Connor. Let's see. I don't know. Is Sean here?
Nah, he's not, you fat cunt.
Oh, there we
my
go.
goodness.
Let's see.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So
They're gone.
Good, thank you.
No, they're not.
No. Well, this piece again, quite a few pieces were submitted by this artist, and
Beautiful.
I just I like the imaginative scenery. There was a sort of futuristic aspect to it, but also kind of a throwback. So the houses in front are kind of old houses, and then behind is sort of, I don't know, some sort of high-rise resort sort of thing, and just beautiful treatment on clouds. And I really liked this Sean's work. I'm not sure if in translation in the digital file.
Fucking nigger, Jesus.
Oh gosh,
Shit.
where are these people coming from?
Yeah, I mean, geez.
I think it's the same guy.
Oh.
Anyway, the personally, I would brighten this up a bit.
Yeah.
but all of the work was just very intriguing, and this was my favorite of the series that was sent.
Color's really interesting.
There we go, Carlos.
Hello.
Oh.
I have to say something about it.
I want to say, Carlos, that this I'm familiar with different work of yours, so I was surprised to find that when a name was attached to the work, when I looked at the work, it was all anonymous. I did not, I mean, other than I do know that some work was by some people, but this is not what I would have expected.
Oh my god, you're so boring. I want to kill myself, seriously. Fucking dyke cunt.
Shut
Is
up.
that Sarah Mills? I think
No.
Yeah,
Mills
I got him.
That was silly. My silly. Someone said something.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, I'm.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah.
Christine, can
Yeah.
you, as an administrator, can you just mute everybody and then unmute people who should talk?
That's
I
a
was
good
idea.
thinking about that, but
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, if you want to all go ahead and I'll set it here. I mean, I hate to do that because we're all having a great conversation, but it sounds like we have to right now.
Christine, I'm so sorry, but do you have a security feature on your side?
A security what?
There should be a security feature on the bar at the bottom
Yes.
with the new recent update. I think
Yeah.
we're able to lock the meeting potentially.
What does that do? Do you know?
No one can enter.
Oh,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's an option, you know.
well, they enter through the waiting room, but they have names, and so
Oh, I see.
I couldn't tell if they were all, if we knew them or not. So that's the thing. But let me see, allow participants. So go ahead and let me see, I'm finding out where I can mute everybody. Oh wait, is it here? No, that's my mute. Oh.
You can leave it open, Eric.
Let's see. Okay, there we go. Everybody is muted except for, let me see, Karen, I'm going to ask you to unmute. And, I know her. And Carlos, I'll ask you to unmute also. So I think, there we go. Okay, everybody else is muted. So sorry about that, everybody. But use chat. Feel free to use chat if you have any questions, and we can go ahead and answer them. And hopefully that will help with everything. Are you there, Karen and Carlos?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay, great.
So, Karen, you were saying something, but
I was going to say again, you entered. What I was saying was that this is work that I'm not familiar with being yours, and I really like the sort of
me neither
feel to it.
Well, I must say that I fell into this terrible addiction in the last 6 to 8 months with this new AI erupting in everywhere, from Photoshop, from all the creative suite, to websites with GAN technology of neural imagining and the possibility of play around in is really the limit is the imagination. So I use this technology very recently, and I understand what I do is very classical in a way. I try to keep, I call it in many ways like visual poetry or digital imagination. If I had to say a support, what is a support? Is that a print? Is something? I would say pixels on light. And I like this because there is a malleability of the image with what is happening right now that I don't think that it was there 5 or 10 years ago, although these people have been working with all this neural new AI kind of thing since a long time, but right now it's touching every aspect of the visual tools. So what I'm most interested in creating is this kind of, futuristic, sci-fi, whatever. People really connect with this, but try to catch the essence of a landscape that takes you out, because it is a landscape, but if you start looking at the forms also in depth, there is nothing there. There are things floating around, there are forms, and so this creates this kind of dreamy landscape that I call abstract, because I don't have any other definition, because there are no houses, there are no things. It's just our psyche builds the meaning or builds the story. Many people say, "Oh, there are a lot of stories going on," and that's an aspect that I like about it. And I'm pretty sure that it's a technology that will continue to evolve. It's creeping into everything right now, from our phones to our iPads, through our. So it's something I think to master the digital technologies that are these days, and it's a lot of fun, just because of the immediacy of the medium. Of course I continue doing the kind of analog cutting canvas and all that stuff, but I do think that this in the coming years, and if you get into the virtual VR world, I can imagine just walking into this landscape and seeing things around oneself, and certainly it's happening, but not at a very high definition level so far. But I'm still mesmerized. Even yesterday, I spent, like, besides my work day on analog media, I spent like another 3 hours just immersed, absorbed, samadhi into this technology. I found it amazing. Anyway, that's my take on it.
So what are some of the software you're using? I'm not.
Well, Photoshop, there is actually, I don't have a problem saying, there is a website that uses this GAN technology that everybody can use, and it's free. Well, if you pay, the definition is better when you download, and it's called artbreeder.com. artbreeder.com. Usually this website, you will see when there is the splash page, it's all for people are doing manga faces and things. And I mean, they are really not, they are using mostly 85% or 95% of the people there looks like they are teenagers doing teenage kind of things. And but I found this niche, the landscapes, and that's how I use my transformations and my manipulations, because you use several levels, sliders, to manipulate the image in many ways, and from one image to the other, moving a slide is completely different until you get to the result that you fine tune, and then I download it, I pass it through Photoshop, I create things, I change the color codes of everything, and then I include elements. And then I also use the Procreate in the iPad to retouch things, to select, to change things, to draw, and complete the thing. So I would say this website, Photoshop and Procreate. There are other technologies now, but it's very, very, very difficult to reach someone that will allow you to explore these worlds, unless you work for Disney or something like that. I don't know. It's a very secretive world. But so far, I think the result, what I'm doing just satisfies me. And I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
So cool. I love this. I also mimic what Karen said. When I first saw you doing this, I'm like, whoa, you know, compared to what, you know, we normally know your art as. So I love that you're doing these. They're really fantastic. And they also have that Burning Man feel, which I know you're really passionate about.
I am absolutely. If I could build that in Burning Man, would be. And there are installations at Burning Man that are very close to what you're looking at this right now. So it has an input in my brain, Burning Man. So anyway.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carlos.
Welcome. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Barbara, for being our tech person.
Nice.
All right. Is Carolyn here? If you're here, raise your hand and I'll unmute you because I have it. So if you're just coming on, I know a couple of our friends have just come on. We had a couple of trolls, and so I had to mute everybody and make it so, yeah. So it was hard. Nobody could unmute themselves. But I don't think Carolyn's here. I don't see her. And yeah, if you're here or even have a question or something, you can raise your virtual hand. So if you go into the reactions menu, at the bottom it says raise hand. So, or like I said, put it in chat. Karen, did you want to talk about Carolyn's work?
I just think it's lovely. I've been working with clouds recently, and so that attracted me quite a bit. I don't have a lot to say, just liked it. Just a suggestion also, Christine, I mean, you could, as some of us join in, I mean, I guess you don't know all of us, so I can't just say you could unmute people that you know, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a lovely digital collage.
Yeah, great. All right, go ahead, Barbara. Let's see, Cyndi. I know Cindy's here. Let me unmute you, Cyndi. Or ask to unmute. See, do you see the?
Yeah, there we go. I couldn't unmute for a sec. Thank you.
Oh no, you're welcome.
Okay, we can talk. It would be nice to have the intermingling of voices too, but you know, that guy, he was just rude.
Yeah.
So anyway, this photo bears witness to the beauty and mystery of human life during my personal treatment for stage 3 BRCA2 triple negative breast cancer. It's a sampling of love and loss and curiosity and humor and compassion. They were all really abundant around me. Photography provided a cathartic distraction during a very challenging time. I did encounter a great deal of hope surrounded by the dominance of despair during this time. I took refuge in an artistic expression that I knew, which was photography. There's so much to see and unveil, and I was left to dream of it all, you know, unlocking the promise of tomorrow and the joys that sort of flowed in the day-to-day. I'm here. I'm trying to be present. I'm keeping my head and my spirits up. I live an amazing story. I named this Mind Games because socially and distancing and spending time alone in the confinement when usually surrounded by others leaves us to play with our own mind games, far from everything and close to nothing. Imagining a world that once was and will it to be again. So that's what I tried to incorporate into this composite piece.
Beautiful, Cyndi. Thank you.
Any comments? I would love to hear them.
Does anybody have any comments or anything? And like I said, if you want to either raise your hand or put them in chat.
Yeah, it's thank you for sharing the story. It was just a moving piece even without the story.
And how you describe it. Carlos, is that you raising your hand?
and Steph has her hand up also.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I was just, I'm very impressed by the mood of this artwork. Is what you were saying, Cyndi, really touches, and I think that you, to my impression, to my intuition, you really touch that inner world and incorporate also the outside world. I love this piece. It's very intimate and at the same time very expansive. So kudos.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Appreciate that.
And thank you, Carlos, for saying exactly what I wanted to say. No, I'm very drawn to this piece. I think it's really beautifully done and it's very evocative and really interesting. I have one stupid question though. At the back of the head, there's something coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if it's, if there's a significance to it or.
It's food.
It's food.
It's food, which was, a huge issue during treatment. A lot of people told me, don't eat anything that you love, because if you do, you will hate it. And my husband actually made me a vegetable smoothie every single morning. And it's like, I can't even look at a smoothie right now. It's beyond me. But those were like pot stickers that we made. And I love them. And I purposely stayed away from them because I didn't want it. I didn't want them to be hurt by the process.
Thank you. That fills in the picture.
And the image itself is very poetic, and then also how you talk about it. I don't know if you ever put text with your work or consider a book or a story or something, but I was thinking as you were talking about it, you were almost reading a poem, and it was really lovely to hear the story told in that way also.
Thanks. I have put words to different projects. Sometimes it's difficult because you want people to create their own words and their own emotions for pictures. And I think that when you put words to it, you direct the viewer too much and you don't allow them to be able to have the breadth of the experience on their own. So I know people that won't even title their pieces because it gives too much away. I'm sort of on the fence about that.
I tend to agree with that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Cyndi.
You bet. Thank you for allowing me to be in the show. I'm honored.
Dale, and let's see, I will ask you to unmute there. There you go.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, I live in central Arizona, and so virtually outside of my studio door, just amazing landscapes and 360 degrees. And as a landscape photographer working in Arizona, I've always kind of avoided the traditional landscape. I mean, I think we've kind of met or maybe exceeded a critical mass of just incredibly beautiful, straight landscape photos. And so my approach to the landscape has always been through the filter of surrealism. And so this is a place, it's a couple hours north of where I live. It's a place called Lee's Ferry. It's just south of the Glen Canyon Dam, which is the dam that makes Lake Powell. If you're familiar with the area. And it's a relatively straight photo, except for the addition of the faces. And I really like the place because there's about a 15-mile stretch between the boat launch where the river rafters put in the Colorado River and the Navajo Bridge that goes over the river. There's about a 12 or 15-mile stretch. It's just an amazing boulder field. I mean, it would be a killer location for a science fiction movie. And so I go up there like once a year and just wander around the boulders and photograph. And so this is from, I think, my COVID trip, because I could camp and not stay in a hotel with viruses and stuff, you know. And I was up early one morning. You can see that there's light on the cliffs and there's no light yet on the boulders. And I was just wandering around photographing. And a lot of things, I don't do a lot of pre-visualization. I do a lot of what Jerry Uelsman called post-visualization. So when I got back to my studio and I was looking at the take and everything that I photographed, I kept coming back to these three boulders. And I also kind of approach things with a little bit of a sense of whimsy. I think a lot of artists take themselves a little bit too seriously, and I try to avoid that. And so I was looking at this and I kept thinking, you know, I can do something with this. And there's this phenomenon that comes from psychology. I think it's pronounced, I think it's called pareidolia. I think that's the correct pronunciation. And it's where our brains try to make sense of unfamiliar things or abstract things and tries to make them recognizable. And this is the effect that we experience when we look up at clouds and we see animal shapes and that sort of thing. And if you've ever wandered the desert and looked at cliff faces and boulders and things, quite often you see profiles, you see faces and things. And so with that little bit of info from psychology in mind, I made this. And I years and years ago, I photographed someone in the studio making all kinds of expressions. And so I kind of maintain a file of potential elements for future things I haven't thought of yet. And I went back to that file and pulled out some weird expressions. And then in Photoshop, just using layering, blending modes, and some subtle masking, stuck these three weird faces in these three rocks to create something that I kind of wish I'd found if I'd been hiking out there. It might have scared the hell out of me if I did find it, but I'm always looking for a landscape that, or looking to create a landscape that is a little bit more than what you would find if you went there and saw it with your own two eyes. So that's kind of my motivation. It's just a little blend of psychology, surrealism, and fun.
I was very much attracted to the humor in your work.
Thank you for noticing.
I was trying to imagine the conversation that they're all having.
Well, and see, that's fun for the viewer. Someone was saying earlier they don't even like to title things because they don't want to give the viewer too much information, and I tend to agree with that, although I do use titles because it makes it easier for the gallery to catalog things. It's hard to have a cogent conversation about Untitled number 4. So I do use titles, but quite often, I mean, the title of this is Genus Loci number 2. And Genus Loci is Latin for the resident spirit of a place. And so these are the spirits of Lee's Ferry.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Dale.
Thanks for including me in the show.
All right. And Barbara, there you go. And I'm going to ask to unmute.
All right. By the way, I'm going to have to leave about 5 minutes before 5. I just want to let you know.
We should be fine.
Okay. Anyway, digital manipulation is just so much fun. You know, when I do hands-on art, and I do a lot of multimedia, and most recently a lot of encaustic, and I just get exhausted. I mean, I just get physically tired. And when I'm tired and I want to make art, I just pull out my iPad or I go to my computer and I just play for hours and hours and put images together and see what I can do with them and try different things. And I just have a ball. This particular image, actually, I did this a couple of years ago. And it's the trees are from Kings Canyon. I go there camping with my family and friends just about every year. And this particular image was created before the recent fire attacks on the sequoias. And looking at the background now, it's kind of eerie because it looks like fire. But fortunately, this part of Kings Canyon so far has been untouched, and these trees really are still there. And what can I say? I've been enamored with everything digital probably since the late 60s when I started doing statistics. And as soon as I retired and got back into art, I started using Photoshop basically as my sketchbook. And I would manipulate images and then paint them. And then finally, I got to where I just manipulate the images and print them. And so that's where I am.
On this one, and I've been noticing on other people's work as well, that red with a blue or green gives such a 3D feel on the monitor. It feels like the trees are jumping out on a different plane from the red, and I just find that fascinating. And I feel like I have to start playing with that myself.
I also, you know, at first glance, the blue looks like paint strokes, or looks like, you know, it does look like a painting, like an abstract painting. So I like that your eyes, you know, it goes back and forth. I see the trees also, but it definitely, because of the perspective and exactly what Karen said, it definitely plays with the dimension and the perspective.
It really makes me feel like my monitor has actual depth.
Actually, the trees themselves are fairly low resolution because one of the filters that I like to use on Photoshop is difference clouds. And difference clouds don't work well unless you have a fairly low resolution image. And that, I think, probably adds to that kind of feeling of depth in this case.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. All right, and Seth, and I think, did I see Seth come in or no? No, it doesn't look like Seth's here. Karen, did you want to touch on this one?
Here I was just, this is one that had a nice different take than a lot of the other things. I'm not sure if it's vector artwork, but it's certainly line art as opposed to photographic. And I just kind of like the monolith and the feel of it.
Very cool. I like that it does, it kind of blurs the lines where you're not exactly sure. Yep. Very cool. All right. Next, Barbara. And Kerrie, and she is not here. Do you have the thing, or do you want me to bring that up?
Let me see.
Kerrie left some words sent us some text about it. And I have it right here if you want me to read it.
Okay, well, I've got it right here too.
Okay.
So Kerrie Smith wasn't able to be here with us, but she wanted us to read this. So the renewal series came about during COVID when I, Kerrie, walked our beaches alone daily and became completely absorbed and infatuated with the gifts of the ocean. Seaweeds have always fascinated me with their undulating shapes and colors, textures, rhythm, sensuality, and the ultimate sacrifice and gift of life and oxygen to the ocean. I began photographing them and returning to my studio and truly discovered the beauty that lay within. The seaweed's limp, exhausted tangles on the shoreline mirrored how I was feeling at this particular time. Returning to my studio, I was able to investigate and look closer as I manipulated on my computer. I could recreate a new pattern and order. Thus, there was a great sense of renewal of my spirits too. And kind of one of my comments here was, again, I juried this totally anonymously, and I looked at it, and I grew up in Santa Barbara, and I thought this looked like Santa Barbara seaweed. And I know that Kerrie lives in Santa Barbara, and I have a few pieces of artwork of my own that incorporate the Santa Barbara kelp, and it's quite fascinating. The tangles and the I too have been fascinated with the Santa Barbara seaweed, so it kind of really hit home for me. With that plus the symmetry, which is also something I work with. So,
what I love about this also is Kerrie's, like Carlos, is also a painter. And, this mimics Kerrie's work, in many, many ways. If you were to see her paintings, she uses like the X, and symmetry in her paintings. And also like the dots that she uses kind of mimic the seaweed too. And I was just thinking about this with Carlos's work also, looking at those landscapes, Carlos, it almost looks like the landscape is being torn apart, which is exactly what you've been doing with your paintings, and so, yeah, so somehow, it's there, it comes out in different ways, no matter what medium you're using.
I'm also looking at this now down at the bottom. It almost looks like shoulders with this kind of seaweed butterfly head. So it's got that interesting aspect to it as well.
Yeah. I think she started doing these with call and response also when she was playing with photography and with, digital. And I don't know if she did it before that, but I know she experimented a lot, during that time. So great. Let's see who's next. Oh, Janet Lucroy. I don't think Janet was here. Let me see. I didn't see her. No. Talk about,
I know that there was a description that was attached to this one, of a little bit of the process. And it's like digital collage, and there were lots of different digital processes in this one. And I was just incredibly taken by Janet's work. It's really stood out as being unlike anything that I had seen. And just very much enjoyed the mood, and just kind of want to know what's going on there. It's very ethereal, but also very grounded.
Wonderful. It's a beautiful piece.
It really is.
Great. Oh, here we go, Diane. And let's see, I will find you on here, and I'll ask you to unmute, Diane.
Hi.
Hello. You want to tell us about your work?
Yes, this is called Desert Storm, and it is a combination of 2 street curbs. And I've been collecting images of street curbs for about 14 years and have created many collages, usually 2, sometimes 3 images. The bottom one with the orange and the yellow is a new find, and the concrete blob at the top I found on a curb many years ago, and I've been using it as a storm cloud in many of my landscapes. And the thing about curbs is that naturally they're horizontal. So when you start putting them together, they just naturally suggest either seascapes or landscapes, depending on the colors of the curbs. And there's every color of the curb out there. If you start looking, I have found every color except purple. But I put these together fairly simply in Photoshop. I don't do a lot of enhancing because the curbs are fairly astonishing all by themselves. I just combine them and let the colors and the textures and the patterns emerge, and all of a sudden I have a landscape. And it's been fun. I've been doing it, like I say, for so many years. And so I was excited when this came up because I thought, wow, that's something I love to do. And so I was very happy to be chosen. Thank you very much. And that's I've always called my series Curvature. And I will continue to do it because I have a virtual endless supply of curbs in this city, but they're fun. I enjoy doing them.
Every time I see your work, I always imagine your files on your computer and how you title everything. Like, you know, the title, the curb, or the curb with the cloud. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, you know, and you don't have to say, but whether you actually title it cloud or use tags, or how do you, because I mean, you come up with these amazing combinations, you know, and you must have thousands and thousands and thousands of images.
I do. And I try to be organized, and sometimes I am, and sometimes I have to really scour and go back and look and look. But I have used this cloud many times, so it's kind of top of mind. I know right where it is. And the bottom one, as I say, is kind of new, and it just sort of kind of went with this.
Definitely. Wonderful. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
All right. Michelle. And let's see, I'll ask you to unmute here. Let's see, there we go.
Hello. So this is part of a project called You Are Not Here. And it was intended to try and explore ideas about domestic secrets, secrets in the home or family secrets, and what happens when those secrets are revealed, and how it can sort of subvert or change your feelings about home and your family and how you grew up and a whole bunch of other things. And it kind of shifts memories from one place to another. And I started thinking a lot about nostalgia and the idea that how we remember our childhood is through this lens of nostalgia that is really about a time that didn't really exist, or, you know, nostalgia is like longing for something that never really was. And I was also thinking about the concept of the uncanny and how when we, what happens when something that's very familiar becomes unfamiliar. So again, thinking about your family and what you think you know, and then learning something new can make that whole experience feel very unfamiliar in a strange and disconcerting kind of way. So I just wanted to see how I could express that visually in an image. And this series is composed of domestic objects and homes that have been placed into environments where they don't really belong, digitally placed. And in this case, in this particular image, the chairs are made with 3D computer graphics and rendered out separately and then kind of composited in along with their shadows and stuff. So I I'm using technology from my and skills from my day job because I'm in animation and visual effects, and using those to kind of create landscapes that are both familiar and unfamiliar, basically.
Good job.
Did somebody say something? Or
I just said that, yeah, I think you were very successful in that.
Yeah, it's beautiful and so dreamlike, and yeah,
the perspective of it all works so beautifully as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the hope is that at first glance you might look at the image and wonder or think, well, maybe somebody dragged 50 chairs out into some field and took a photograph of it. And then, the longer that you look at it, especially in person, because this is a really big print, then you start to feel like the wrongness of it, and you start to realize that the chairs are all the same and they all have the same texture, and they're not, like I'm trying to ride the line between a really well-crafted fake and just enough clues that it's fake that you might feel that, as you look at it. And so some of the other works in this series are done with miniatures that have been scaled up and then composited. And some are like this computer graphics. So.
Great. Thank you, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Diane Lamboley. I don't think she's here. Did you want to say something, Karen?
Just I like the peeled paper. I like the toning of the clouds. It's just I liked it.
It's a beautiful image.
It is.
Great, thank you. Next is Steph. And let's see, I think you're still unmuted there.
Yes, I think I am. Can you hear me okay? Because I probably should put my headset in because
you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So it's a digital collage. I did it in Photoshop. I just love light and patterns and what happens with reflections and things. So the base photo of this was lights reflected on water. And then the image in the middle is, I call it my golden puff. I'm in love with this golden puff. I've put it in many places, and I've had it all by itself as a photograph, just alone. It's actually from an artichoke, I believe, and I found it up in Ojai, up on Meditation Mount, which is one of my favorite places. And when I found it, it was lying in a pile like it was going to be thrown away. It was like a pile ready for a bonfire or something. And it just radiated such energy. It was a dead thing that was being discarded, but it just had such a joyous energy to it. So I became very attached to it, and I use it every chance I get. So that's about all I have to say about this one. But I was very satisfied with it when I did it. And thank you, Karen, and thank you, Christine, for making this whole thing happen. It's really thrilled to be a part of all of this.
You're welcome.
Interesting exhibition, yeah.
This one reminds me of Van Gogh, in his paintings. He has a couple of them, with the lights reflecting on the water and the pier. And I don't remember, I think it's like night star. No, it's not. It's similar to Starry Night, but it was one that I've always liked of his work. Beautiful.
It sort of reminded me of like a real place, but maybe in the future. And I don't know. It was interesting to hear that it was a thistle of some sort. I was wondering if it was a dandelion but it's just a lovely composition.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. We talked about Tori's work. And Brandon, I don't know if Brandon's here. No, I don't believe so. If you want, it's a 5-minute video though. If you're just coming in, I'll put the link in chat, but please feel free to click on and, watch the video.
I don't know if you want to play, 10 seconds of it. It's not, this video is what I would kind of call more of like a moving art piece. There's no narrative here. It's just moving through this landscape of icebergs, whatever. But in some ways, this is kind of the sort of work that I was expecting a lot more of to show up in this show. Things that were full digital constructions of landscapes that didn't, that started just as constructions. Anyway, and then the piece goes on for 5 minutes, traveling through this landscape. Again, it's non-narrative. I just, I definitely wanted a video example, and I thought that of the ones that were put in, this sort of fit my theme the best.
Well, yeah, I could have submitted work from Second Life. I wouldn't have, but I didn't even think about that. Wonderful, thank you. And let's see. We have next is Ariel, and I don't, she is here, and I'll ask you to unmute Ariel.
Yes.
There we go.
That's good. Okay.
Yay, we can hear you.
Okay, well, this picture came out of dreams, not in the way I would usually expect. I had a very vivid dream of a gray veil, and I pulled on it and colors were revealed. It is probably not a coincidence that I had this dream not long after being diagnosed with a very bad vision problem, which I'd like to say is much better now. But I also had been having dreams about old friends during COVID, some of them not very happy dreams. And in the veil dream, the name Ida and Iris came out. I thought of them as people. I now know that Iris could have a different meaning, but as an artist, you just kind of go with the impulse. So I started looking at trees. I had done a bunch of pictures of trees just before lockdown, and looking at trees in conversation with each other, that they could be Ida and Iris having issues or friendships, and then I would put veils over them, and I would, not literally, but rip out pieces of the veils and have color gradients behind them. And I got really into this. And it was only at the end that I realized that I kept taking circles out, which was pretty much the problem I was having, these circles that got in the way of my vision and I couldn't see through them. So anyway, this was a project that came out of bad things and then made me very happy.
I love that story. So glad your vision is better.
Thank you, my eye doctors. Thank you, thank you.
It's a
I guess the title By a Thread can also be thought of as, for a minute there, it looked like photography was not going to be with me.
Yeah, it's a very poetic and multivalent. I mean, there's so many different meanings to it.
Yeah.
So many layers. Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you for choosing this, Karen. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, and Mirabelle, and let me find you and I'll unmute you here, or ask you to unmute. There we go.
Hi, yeah, so basically my whole work is about my relationship with the landscape. I'm interested in constructing spaces that investigate transparency and opacity as visual metaphors, like how the mediated landscape distorts and curates the world around us. Actually, I'm primarily a landscape painter, so I paint like large, vast, technological sublime. And since I was living in Long Beach not too long ago, it was all about crumbling infrastructure. But because of the pandemic, I've been kind of branching out and thinking about like living in this kind of newly integrated environment, how the online digital world informs our lived experience. So this piece, Mass, I've been creating like a bunch of digital models in SketchUp and then putting textures in Blender and then collaging in Photoshop. Yeah, I've been exploring how to like impose or integrate this into my more tangible work. But I've also discovered that these models that I've been playing around with, I like what Barbara was talking about earlier about play. I've discovered that these models I've been making are pieces in their own right. So this one in particular is like, oh, it's like about weight, but it's being subverted because it's tipped. It's pixels, there's like light cascading across it, but it's like this ephemeral like thing that's made up of light. Anyway, so there's that visual play that I've been exploring. And to be perfectly honest, this is like the beginning of something new. So I'm kind of tiptoeing into it right now, but I feel like this has a lot of potential for my practice in general. So yeah.
It'd be exciting to see where you take it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Karen and Christine, for inviting me for the show.
You're welcome. And it's very strong. I, definitely go for it. There's a lot of potential there. It's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see, Trent. And I don't think Trent is here.
This one then just struck me and is, I like the futuristic aspect. It's kind of cartoony. I love the desert colors and again this was a piece that stood out because of how it was made. I'm going to again guess that it's vector art, but I don't exactly know. It's just fun. There were a few pieces from this artist, and this was the one that struck me as the one I like the best. It's I like the humor, the retro. It was just fun.
It's a great
futuristic retro.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you. And let's see. Oh, another one from Brandon. Oh, he did the video, I think, and he's
okay. I tried to not get two of anyone. I understand that this is was a collaborative piece with another artist that was in the description. Just like the colors, just a lot going on. When I was doing the jurying, I did not get full-size images, and of course this one is like lots of little ones, so it's kind of hard to see what was going on. But it was I like the flow and the colors and the fanciful nature of it. Each one being its own little individual piece, but how the four of them all played together to create a composite image that I thought had cohesion and interest.
Yeah, I feel like there's a story being told here, and kind of a surreal story. It's a beautiful work. Awesome. And let's see, Annie. And is Annie? Yes, there we go. I'm asking you to unmute Annie. There we go.
Yes. So, I am a beginner in digital art. I started doing things with Procreate, and I liked doing things, and I didn't try to follow something to see how some sort of things I had to use. For the brushes, sometimes I don't know at all which one I am using, and I'm very surprised to have been selected because it's a beginner work. I have done a lot of paintings before, but I enjoy doing this. I enjoy it, and as even in my painting, I like to do things that are not deliberately thought. I like when I have a brush, I don't know what it is going to do, and oh, wonderful, and the color, it's good, and so I select it, and that's all. So that's nothing else.
I think that it's very musical, very like jazz, and then it's improvisation. It's as you say that I like the composition, and I love the green, that neon green against the purple. I just thought it was very fresh and and it's musical. It totally reminded me of music.
Thank you.
When I saw this and I saw it was you, I'm like, of course it is, because it looks very much like your paintings. I mean, if you put them next to each other, you can definitely, tell they're the same artist. So, just like, Carlos and, oh my gosh, who else used the paintings into digital? And I'm sorry, now I'm forgetting who we talked to earlier. But yeah, you could tell, it's definitely your voice. So yeah, beautiful.
Well, Annie, I'm not familiar with your other work, so I'll trust Christine on that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you so much for selecting me.
And let's see, Barth, and I don't know if they are here. It doesn't look like it.
Again, I was drawn to the symmetry, the colors, the kind of want to know how it was put together, what sort of software was used to create all this. It's just it sort of sings to me in that sort of crystalline structure. It's got sort of sacred geometry aspects going on.
It's a beautiful piece.
Again, it was I wanted to make sure to include some pieces that were digitally, that screamed digital, because I know that things that scream digital don't usually get shown.
Great. And Rebecca Finley, I don't think Rebecca's here. Is there anything you wanted to say about this piece?
Kind of some of the same comments that I think as we got towards the end, I was when I curated the order, it was to work kind of from the more recognizable into the more abstract. And I'm a sucker for circles, and I like the texture. I could see this very much as possibly being a lenticular, where there's the lines are playing out, and maybe it's two images that have been superimposed with each other, but I don't quite know what the two or three images are. It's sort of an interesting, maybe planetary, futuristic symbol. But yeah, mandala for 2020, I think. Sounds about right.
Great. And I think our last one, Mary Constantine, and I don't know if she is here. It doesn't look like it.
So just a nice abstract landscape. It appealed to me.
Yeah, I like it. Looks like light reflections, you know, on a faraway landscape. It's really pretty.
The sort of blurry circle interference just has a nice feel to it.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, we are at the end there. Barbara, you can go ahead and stop sharing. Thank you again so much for doing that. And thank you everybody for your patience in dealing with we had the glitches on Zoom, we had the trolls, we had, what else did we have? You know, oh yeah, me not being able to go Facebook Live.
Yeah, they're sort of divulging the winners before it was.
Yeah, I know. Kind of a comedy of errors, but you know, everybody's been good sports, and thank you.
Yeah, so did want to announce winners, and I quit mail just in case I was going to be doing that again. So I think of the winning images, Dale's the only one was on the call.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know how to do this one. Do you have them in front of you?
Yeah, I have it. I can announce if you want. So we offered, you know, one of the things that, like, you know, we talked about with Karen, and one of our kind of missions with Shoebox Arts and Shoebox Projects is supporting artists as much as we can. That's why we try and leave like our the fees for the call for art so low, and also we want to give more. You know, I mean, you know, I'm also an artist, and so I get it. You know, as far as like artists deserve, you know, exposure, deserve, you know, so much more. And so we wanted to be able to offer, you know, prizes, offer something more than just an exhibition. And so for all of our juried shows, we are offering, you know, as awards, a solo show, an online solo show to an artist, and then also cash awards. So first place is an online solo show, second place is $100, and third place is $50. And so with that, if you missed it or if you just came on, first place is Janet Lucroy, or Lucroy, I think it is.
And then that was the piece that was this green sort of mossy structures with the ethereal fog cloud work in front of it. And that was the one.
And that's, if it stays up, yeah, this is Janet's. And then second place, and congratulations, is Dale Odell.
Those were our boulders.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, Dale.
Well, thank you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. That's a wonderful validation of the work. I very much appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That was, and then the third place was the
Rachel Owen.
Family. I think it was up near the top. The family in maroon on the couch.
Yeah, yeah. Rachel won third place. So yes, and I mean, thank you all, you know, so much. And you know, Karen did have a hard time choosing, so I can vouch for that personally.
I have some standbys in there, but we didn't announce any other prizes. You all won.
Yes, exactly.
All honorable
exactly. I'm saving chat, so that way I remember that.
Let me do that too.
Yes. And if you want, send us an email, shoeboxprojectsla@gmail, and I can send you the chat. Or, you know, you can also save it, and that way, you know, you can get everybody's websites and social media and follow each other. You know, because like I said, we're all about community and connection. And, you know, anytime we can meet new artists and follow each other and support each other, you know, is great. Barbara, I see your hand. Let me unmute you here.
I know that I have saved chat before, but how do you do that?
Yes, how do you do this?
Okay, when you open up the chat thing, there's 3 dots next to where you type your message. Yep, and then it says save chat. And then as soon as we log out of Zoom, it'll show up in a folder. So
it does not have 3 dots.
On my computer, there's a Zoom folder, and the chat gets saved into the Zoom folder.
Yeah. Ariel, were
I-
you able to find it, or did you find
I
it?
can't seem to find it.
If you're,
Oh,
are you on an iPad or is it a computer?
yes, I'm on an iPad.
Oh, okay, you may not be able to if you're on an iPad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, send me an email and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want, if I may, put in a plug for the Collage Artists of America, because we support digital collage as well as analog collage. And there are so many wonderful digital collages in this show. And so think about it.
Yeah,
We're
great.
online, collageartist.org.
Oh, good to know.
Is that artist singular or plural?
Plural.
Artists.
I'll put it in chat.
I juried an exhibition for Collage Artists of America years ago at the San Fernando Valley Cultural Center, I think it was. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, really great, fantastic group of artists, talented. And I highly recommend getting involved in any type of organization like that. In Los Angeles, there's many. Nationally, there's Women's Caucus for the Arts. If that's something that interests you, Los Angeles Art Association, Women Painters West. Of course, it's painting, but if you're a painter, they just, they're celebrating 100 years. And so, yeah, I always recommend getting involved. And let's see. Oh, Carlos, I'm asking if we can all unmute to say goodbye. And let me see if I could do that or how I could do that. Let's see, ask all to unmute. Okay, I just asked all to unmute if you want to unmute and say bye.
Thank you.
And
Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Karen.
for
Thank you,
applying.
Christine. Thank you.
This was great.
Thank you.
And thank you for all. Thank you all for being here. And again, for your patience.
You did well.
Thank you. Thank you. And everybody, I was thinking actually, next time that happens, I mean, we're all artists and I think most of us would probably be okay, but we should actually yell back at them.
Yeah.
With the same words. I mean, because it kind of, I mean, if people are comfortable, I don't know. It was just a thought as it was happening. I'm like, it kind of takes this, I don't know, their buzz away or something. I don't know.
He was awful.
Yeah. If you missed it, you're lucky.
Well, thank you all for
Thanks
applying.
again.
Keep
Was
doing
great.
wonderful work.
Was great.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you
Happy
very much.
Thanksgiving.
Really good show.
Good to see everybody. And yes, happy Thanksgiving. And I hope to see you out and about there soon.
Great.
You too.
And keep in touch for sure.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And we'll be in touch, Dale.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Means a
I
lot.
love